What's up, guys? Classy Metal here. I've got a little bit of a mixed bag collection update today. I've got a few new albums that haven't been out, but just maybe a month or two that I'm going to show. I will definitely link those. I think there's three of those. I will link those up in the description because they are new and it's something that some of you guys I think will enjoy. So the first three that I'm going to show will be linked up in the description. The rest of the stuff, like I said, is kind of a mixed bag. There's some older stuff in this, just stuff that I picked up in odd and end places that's just been piling up, and I need to show off, and then that way we can move forward with the collection updates. But as I said, the first three I will definitely link up in the description because they are that good and they're new enough that I think some of you guys may have not come across them yet. Some of you may have missed them coming out, and I think some of you guys will like them. The first one I'm going to show you guys is the newest release from Wilderun. They are I guess you could say, a progressive death metal slash folk band out of here in the U.S. Very surprising sound coming out of the U.S. This is not something that I would expect to be a U.S. band just by listening to it. I know that sounds a little judgmental, that type of stuff, but I mean, this is really good. This band is kind of filling, I guess they're kind of filling the hole that Opeth has left when Opeth went their new direction, their strictly progressive direction. This band has kind of filled that hole for me, and they've done so quite well. The name of this newest release is entitled Veil of Imagination. I believe this is another self-released album from Wilderun. I'm not seeing a label or anything, and amazing stuff. I believe 2017 was their last full length. That one was my album of the year that year, and this album is just as strong as their previous release. Amazing stuff. As I said, it's kind of a progressive death metal. Then they have folk elements mixed in with that progressive death metal. Some melodic death metal going on in this as well. As you can kind of get like the folky progressive feel just from the artwork on this. Seems like everyone's going to these digipack type styles. I miss jewel cases. I miss jewel cases, but alas, this is Wilderun, Veil of Imagination. I will definitely link that one up in the description because I think you guys, I know several of you guys, if you're kind of frustrated with the new direction that Opeth is going, you need to check this out. I think you will enjoy this quite a bit as well. They also threw in a free sticker, and just like the last one, when I purchased the previous full length a couple of years ago, they hand wrote me a note saying thank you. Still doing it. I don't know how well you can make that out with the glare going on in here, but Evan, one of the members of the band, was nice enough to write me a little note saying thank you for the support and all that good stuff. So definitely appreciate the time that they put into that. I know with all of the CDs, and I know they had a vinyl version of that going out, I'm sure it took time to have to sit down and write notes to everyone, but I am appreciative of it. The next band that I'm going to show is they have I guess some doom elements going on. They're just kind of a grimy, filthy rock and roll band, and they are so good. I almost missed this. It almost slipped through the cracks. I don't know how I found it. Actually, I ordered it on Bandcamp, but I can't even remember what led me to it. I had a couple days in the past couple weeks that I was fortunate enough to just spend finding new music, listening to music, just having some time to myself, and I found this in one of those days. They are out of Canada. The name of this band is entitled Crimson Witch. And the name of this release is Satanic Panic. This is their first full length, I'm wanting to say. Possibly their second, but I'm wanting to say this is their first full length. This has been out maybe a month. I hate the packaging on this. It's just this little cardboard sleeve, this little cheap sleeve, and it's already ripped. And yeah, it got bent up in the mail just because it was mailed in just in a little thin envelope. That being said, the price on this was super cheap, so I can't complain about the lack of padding in the shipping because coming from Canada, shipping can be a bit ridiculous. They didn't overcharge on the shipping. The CD itself was fine, so that part's good. But yeah, I love the artwork on that. I would have loved to see a jewel case release of this, but it is what it is. I'll show you the actual disc. I'm going to have to find some kind of sleeve or something to put this in to keep it from getting scratched because I don't like these little cheap cardboard things. But yeah, this is a fantastic. As I said, it's kind of just filthy rock and roll. That's the only way that I know to describe this. Just grimy, filthy, dirty rock and roll, and it is great. Some of my favorite tracks on this, the last track, the title track, Satanic Panic, that one was really good. And I think Ride with the Flames is another one that I enjoyed quite a bit. As I said, I'm going to link these first three that I'm showing up in the description because they are that good. I know Crimson Witch is one that I think several people have overlooked this year, and that is a huge, huge mistake because I definitely see that one ending up on my end of the year list. Coming up, I guess, at the end of next month. And the last 2019 release that I'm going to show today is the newest release from Monolord. This is No Comfort. This one is another one that hasn't been out very long. This was released on Relapse Records. This is some more just sludgy type doom metal stuff, almost drony sounding at times. I'm not going to go as far as to say droning because it's not that drone at all, but it is amazing stuff. Just sludgy, slow doom metal. That's just executed flawlessly. Amazing stuff. Amazing output on Relapse this year. Definitely check this one out if you haven't. As I said, that will be linked up in the description as well. The next one I'm going to show is a 2-disc set. I have not heard anything on this at all. It is a complete blind buy. This is also a 2019 release. It hasn't been out long this year at all, but that's all I know about it. I think I got this for like $3 or $4 shipped. It was just a total blind buy. As you can see, they're both still in the cellophane, still in the plastic. I have not listened to them yet, so I don't know what to expect. Kind of looked it up on Metal Archives to get an idea of what I was getting into. Like I said, black and death metal. I haven't listened to anything on YouTube from it, so I don't know. I mean, I may love this. I may hate it. Who knows? It was $4. I thought I would take a gamble. Sometimes I do that, just blind buy some stuff that I don't know. I was thinking about waiting and showing it in a later video, but I know how things are, and I know how I get behind, so there was a good chance that this would never even get shown. So I wish I had a little bit more information to give you on this, but I don't. As I said, the name of the band is Misanthropic Torment, and the name of the album is The Black Death. As I said, it's a 2 CD set. The artwork is the same on both, but they packaged them up in separate discs. One has, I guess, black and white lettering, and one has red lettering. That's the only difference. Has a different track listing, obviously, because it's a 2-part album. And that's all I know about it. I wish I knew more. Wish I could give you more information. If some of you already have heard some of that, you can talk about it in the description if you want. I may come back and talk about it in the description myself after I have time to actually listen to those. But moving on, the next two that I'm going to show are 2 CDs that Troy, my buddy Troy, he's a metal kid here on YouTube. He hasn't posted a video in I guess a year or so. So he is on YouTube. He just sent me a message one day asking if I had these. I said no, and he was nice enough to send them to me. The first one that he sent me is Emperor in the night in the Night Side Eclipse. I don't know why every time that I speak of this album, I want to say the Nightshade Eclipse. I have no idea. It's the Night Side Eclipse. I almost said it. I had to stop myself showing this. Amazing black metal stuff. I have several Emperor albums already, and this is one that I needed. Jewel case got a little bit busted, so I need to change this out. I'm sure most of you have already seen this album before, so it's nothing new to you. I'm sure you're all familiar with Emperor. There we go. Symmetry Media. I'm not sure what press this is. I know there's tons and tons of presses on this. This one is pressed on Symmetry Media with permission from Candlelight, so I don't know what exactly what press that is. And the next one he sent me is Celtic Frost with Monotheist, and this is another one that I've been meaning to pick up forever and ever. I had a copy of this several years ago when I had a big stack of CDs stolen out of my car. This was one that was in there, and I just haven't had it in me to replace it yet, and now I don't have to because Troy was nice enough to replace it for me. So definitely glad to have this back in the collection. Love Celtic Frost. love Triptychon, love anything that Tom G. Warrior is a part of. So definitely glad to have that back in the collection now. So thank you, Troy. I guess the next little stack I'm going to show, I'm not going to spin. Sorry, I'm getting all choked up here. The next little stack I'm going to show all came from eBay. It was like a little bundle purchase that all came together. There was one album out of these 6 that I wanted, but it was going so cheap I went ahead and just threw the bid down, and surprisingly enough, I only paid what it probably cost to ship all 6 of these CDs, so it wasn't a complete loss, just because I got the one CD that I wanted. Everything else was just kind of bonus. The one that I wanted in this was I believe this is the debut full length from the band Witchcraft. They are kind of stoner doom type stuff. If you're not familiar with Witchcraft, you ought to check them out, especially if you're into that whole stoner type sound going on. Sorry, I just got this little scratch in my throat completely threw me off. I'm kind of lost. So anyway, yeah, this is I believe it's the debut. It could be the second full length, but I think it's the debut from Witchcraft. This is entitled Firewood. This was released on Rise Above Records. Amazing stuff. A lot of Black Sabbath worship going on this. A lot of modern doom bands, stoner doom bands, are Black Sabbath worship. I don't mind that because I love Black Sabbath, and this album is pretty good. Not the best release that I've heard from Witchcraft, but it is a fantastic release nonetheless. The next one that I've got is a bit of, I guess, power metal, a little bit of thrashy sounding stuff going on in this. This is the only other one that I've listened to out of this stack since I've gotten these in. This is Divine Weep with Tears of the Ages. I love the artwork on this. It's probably my favorite thing. The music on this isn't bad either. It's on Total Metal Records. I've given it one playthrough. I was doing some other stuff while it was playing through, but it definitely made some good background music while I was doing taking care of some other stuff. And there were a few definite memorable riffs going on in this. So I'm definitely looking forward to spending a little bit more time with this in the future, and glad to have this in the collection. I think it will be a worthwhile addition to the collection. Next up, we have a split CD. This is a Neurosis and Jarboe split. I am familiar with Neurosis. I am not familiar with Jarboe. This is released on Neurot recordings. There are some weird projects on that label from time, so kind of curious to what Jarboe is going to sound like. Like I said, I have not listened to this. Neurosis, I do own some albums from Neurosis, so I definitely know what to expect on their part of this. Just the Jarboe will be something new to me. Neurosis is kind of hit or miss, but hopefully that'll be some stuff that I enjoy on that one. Next up, we have some Kiss. This is You Wanted the Best. You Wanted the Best, You Got the Best. I believe this is a live album, if I'm not mistaken. Ryan over at Metal Viking 82, I'm sure you know all about this. So if this is a live album, you can confirm that for me in the comments. But I think it is. And this jewel case feels to be stuck together. There we go. So obviously this hasn't been opened in quite some time. I do like that the red case that this came in was still pretty much in immaculate shape, so I was pretty stoked for that. I do like Kiss. I mean, I'm not, Kiss Army or anything, but it is something that I do enjoy from time to time. So when the mood hits me, that will help scratch that itch to listen to some Kiss. The next one was Funny. This is an album that a ton of people hate. This is Saint Anger from Metallica. As I said, I only paid shipping for the entire lot, so I can't be just too upset. I don't hate Saint Anger. I understand why hardcore Metallica fans hate this album, but for me, I didn't hate it like everyone else did. It sounded like something new from Metallica, a new sound, and I mean, for what that was, I thought it was a pretty decent album. So I guess you can hate me for saying that. I don't really care. And next up, the last one out of that little bundle is Above Symmetry with the album Ripples. I have not listened to this one at all. Has a very progressive look to it, maybe some either power metal, possibly even some thrash, but I'm really not sure. I guess even possibly metalcore. Just from looking at the artwork and stuff. It's on Inside Out Records. I'm not super familiar with that label either, so this was one that I don't really know what to expect. I guess I could have looked it up on Metal Archives and got an idea, but at this point, I would just rather just show the album and move along. So, yeah, this could be something I do enjoy. I don't know. As I said, I just haven't listened to that one yet. It will get listened to before it gets shelved. I have this this weird little quirk where everything that I own that makes it to my shelves, I have to listen to the entire full length before I shelve it. It's just a quirk from mine. I feel like a misanthrope, I guess, if I have stuff on my shelves that I've never listened to. So I definitely go out of my way to listen to every album that I own. Moving on, this next one I got on eBay. I got this for like $4, and I was stoked to get this because I love the vocals on this. This is the EP. I think it's, well, actually, it might be a full length. This is Leaves' Eyes with Lovelorn. I own a few other Leaves' Eyes albums. They're not a band that I just seek out all the time, but this is one of the albums that has stuck with me in my memory and my love for this band. And Liv's vocals on this are just absolutely intoxicating. This is probably my favorite release from Leaves' Eyes. As I said, her vocals on this just make the album for me. Getting hot in here just thinking about it. Yeah, I love Liv, and I love her vocals on this. Amazing release. Very soft, slow type release from Leaves' Eyes. So some of you might not like that. But as I said, this is my favorite release from the band. So Lovelorn is my favorite track from Leaves' Eyes. So moving on, we have some I guess folky power / death metal. If that makes any sense. We have Calma with 12 gauge. This one I have not listened to yet. This came in a 2 CD bundle, and I wanted the other Calma release that was with this, so I've listened to the other one. I have not listened to 12 gauge yet. Definitely looking forward to listening to this because I enjoy pretty much everything that Calma has put out. I believe they have a new album out this year as well. Need to look into that. This one was released on Spike Farm Records in 2010, so that one's definitely been out a while. The one that I really wanted was Swamp Song, classic release from Calma. I believe this is their debut album, and it is amazing. I love this. I've given this about 2 or 3 spins already. I've only had it about a week, and I have so much stuff that and limited time to listen to it, but this one has definitely stayed in steady rotation as of late. This is part of the Metal Frontier Archive Collection. I'm not quite sure what that means. I know there's quite a few different pressings of this release, but I'm definitely stoked to have this one in the collection now. I've got 3 more. I know I've been rambling on. We're 18 minutes into this video, so I'm about to wrap this up. This next one, I believe, is a Russian boot. I ordered it off of eBay. It came from Russia. I just hit my camera. I wanted to take a gamble on it because the price was cheap enough, and I needed this album in my collection. And I'm about 99% positive that this is a boot. This is Burzum with I'm going to butcher this. Philosophum. Yeah, you know, Philosophum. It's one of the most classic albums from Burzum. I feel like an idiot because I can't pronounce it, but it's not one that Burzum's not a band you just hear people talking about a whole lot anymore. I don't know if it's just because of the whole NS ties. It's not NS ties. I mean, it is NS, but a lot of people are just kind of silent on Burzum. There's a lot of anti-Burzum talk. There's a lot of anti-Varg talk, and people on YouTube almost feel like they're scared to talk about it nowadays. So you don't just hear a whole lot of people talking about Burzum anymore. You see people posting the albums and stuff still in groups, but it's not one that you just hear talk about. Fantastic stuff. Amazing album. Classic album. Definitely needed that in the collection. Definitely stoked to have that in the collection. Philosophum. If I'm saying that wrong, yeah, feel free to call me an idiot and a poser and everything else in the comments. I don't care. Okay, the last 2 that I'm going to show were both, I would say, steals. I found these both on eBay for $5 shipped, And one of them is really good, and one of them is kind of so-so. But they are both from the same band. We have Dissenter with Apocalypse of the Damned. That's going to be the first one that I show. I believe these guys are out of Germany. Just brutal death metal. I'm wanting to say they're out of Germany. Could be wrong, but I think they're out of Germany. Fantastic brutal death metal. And this is my favorite of the two that I got from them. This one is just pummeling brutal death metal. A lot of originality on this release. I was surprised with that, but I did enjoy that one. This one is from the same band, almost a different sound though. It's still brutal death metal, but it's just not as polished and well performed as this one. And I believe this one came out before this one. And this one is Contamination. Yeah. And it's okay. I mean, I don't dislike this album. If I had heard this one first, I probably would have liked it a little bit better. But I heard Apocalypse of the Damned first, and I think maybe that has something to do with why I like that album more. Could possibly. Sometimes it happens that way. But yeah, we have Dissenter. Fantastic brutal death metal out of Germany. I think I've bored you guys enough. I'm at 21 minutes. If you stuck through this video, I'm very thankful. I'm surprised if you heard me rambling, mispronouncing classic album titles, and just being a general idiot. Thank you guys so much for watching. Thank you, as always, for the likes, subscribes. I'm sorry I'm not putting out the content as quickly and as often as I would like, but I am working on it. Definitely going to have the end of the year video coming up in about a month. Already making some mental notes and some paper notes, getting ready for that. Metalhead box will be shipping out in just a few days. They're sending me some extra stuff this month to do some giveaways and that type deal. It is a 2-year anniversary box, so they sent me a message saying that they're going, if the stuff comes in time, there's going to be a few little extras in there for me to do giveaways on this channel. So I'm excited about that, and that's something that you guys can look forward to as well. As I said, thank you guys as always. That's all I've got for today. Stay classy, stay metal. I will see you all very soon, I promise.